Today, we are talking the power of positive thinking. Now, who doesn't need an hourly dose of this? But before we dive in, welcome to the bandwidth. I'm Rosie, your video coach, and I help women over 40 connect with their audience and go live. If you find value in this video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my other videos on this channel, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell. Well, let's do this. Again, the title of this show is The Power of Positive Thinking. Our guest is Pamela Browne. She is the impact leader and public speaker. Welcome, Pamela, to the bandwidth.
Well, hi, Rosie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. Now, I provided a brief description of your title. Can you elaborate a little bit more on your background?
Sure. My background, as far as my professional background, is in behavioral or mental health. And for some years, Rosie, I have been studying just that, how people behave and how our behavior and our attitude drives our thinking and our behavior, habits, and all of that good stuff. So it's been very interesting just to see, and especially for women, to see how through life changes and so forth, how that thinking and that behavior changes. So I'm excited to be talking to you this evening about positivity.
Yes, me too. So let's dive right in. Why is positive thinking so powerful?
You know, it's just like when you opened up the show, Rosie, when you said, you need a daily dose every day of positivity. And I think, especially now with what's going on in our world, if we don't set that tone for ourselves, you can get caught up, Rosie, in just stuff day after day, daily routines, habits. And oftentimes, if you don't check it with some positivity, you can find yourself stuck or in a rut, or going places mentally and emotionally where you don't want to be. So there's so much power in positivity.
Yeah, and I so agree. Before we came on air, we were just talking about the saying, "You got this." And I just think that is just so powerful because that's just knowing that you can do it no matter what. And that shows that you're thinking positive. And a lot of times, for whatever reason, we get stuck in our head and we just think something is just too difficult. But I just often just remind people, yeah, the overall goal could be very daunting, but break that thing down, break it down to pieces and attack it, and you got it. So why do you think it's so hard for people to, break things down and visualize that they may have it?
You said it just now. Part of it is that people can't visualize or see the positive side of things many times, especially when you're going through a problem or a challenge. I mean, honestly, we're human. So it's hard to see, like people say, well, look at the bright side of it. Well, if I'm going through something that's really, tearing at my soul and heart-wrenching, it's hard for me to even say, is there really a bright side? So it's really, I find what happens to help people out, Rosie, is if you can just, first of all, start thinking positive things. What brings me joy? For me, I love music. So it's putting on my favorite songs and depending upon what kind of mood I am, because it helps just to set that, that tone, that culture for you, candles, treating yourself to something good, within reason, all help with that positive thinking.
Yeah, and I'm with you with the music part. I love music. And it does. When you're listening to, your soundtrack, because I know I have a soundtrack that just boosts me, and I have it on my phone. And every time I think about another song, I just put it there. And when I have those series of songs, it just takes me to another place. And it makes me say, it's nothing stopping me. Like I can conquer whatever. So I agree with you. I think everybody should have like a positive soundtrack that they can refer to and get them in that positive thinking mode. So how do you train your mind to think positive?
Well, one thing that really helps me is I enjoy writing. And I love journals. And actually, I shared with you that I recently published a journal, and it's called You Got This.
Yes.
And it's a journal for intentional living. And when we say intentional living, it's like you really have to start, because time, Rosie, you know what? Time doesn't stop for us to try to wait for us to get it together. Time is the one thing that keeps on going. And so it doesn't wait for us to catch up with it. So like writing is so, so helpful for me to organize my thoughts and to get my feelings out. So that's why I love to journal. And then I can also use it as a tool. Like I'll look back and say, well, what was I thinking in January? What was going on in March? What happened in July? So again, just helping me to stay on track and to just look at some of my personal progress.
Yeah, and that's good. You know what? I need to start doing that. I don't write down as much. I don't do the journaling piece, but I think what you just said, as far as just to reflect back, when you look back and when you write, read your writings, you can definitely, like you said, reflect on where you were. You can see the growth or see if you're still stagnant. So I think I need to start incorporating that into my daily routine, or at least do it weekly. Let me just be honest, probably weekly.
Right. And you know what? And that's one thing. I'm happy to hear that you're going to do that, because the one thing about journaling is there's really no right or wrong way to do it. Mm-hmm. Some people that are just very avid about it, they can do it daily. Some other people may hit it maybe twice a week. Some people do it once a week or even once a month, but just do it. Just look at it as a tool that will help you to get through things.
Yeah. So what do you suggest that you focus on? Is it just like your goals, personal? Like, how do you do yours? Do you break yours down in like segments?
Well, it's so free flowing. I think that, first of all, personally, you'll see on the market a lot of times now, they're called gratitude journals, right? So there's so much positivity when you have an attitude of gratitude. So for me personally, on each page, each page of my journal, actually, it has a positive affirmation. So I reflect on that affirmation. I'll write maybe 2 things that I'm just grateful for when I'm starting to write. And that just helps me, again, to reflect. And it drives whatever it is I'm writing about, even if I've had a rough day. And, people are like, well, you're so positive. I said, but yeah, I'm human also. I do have challenges. I do have problems. I got issues, Rosie. I got issues.
We all do.
Right? Right. So it's just, again, though, but it's not ignoring that we have these things going on, but it's, again, how we process it and how we react to it and how we respond.
Yeah. And it makes me think of something that I had told my son. Like, his counselor was like always positive at school. Like, every time I see her, and I asked him one day, I was just like, have you ever seen her have a bad day? And he said, no. And I'm just like, oh, that's odd. I just want to ask your opinion. Do you think that that's normal for somebody to always be positive and never see them have a bad day?
You know what? And that's the key. It doesn't mean that person has never had a bad day or doesn't have them, but it's what they allow people to see. And that's so important, and particularly in the role of a counselor or a therapist or someone in the helping profession, because we're looking to those professionals. People are looking at me like, if I came into my office, honestly, Rosie, and came in some days where I really feel, my staff would be like, woo. Oh, she might, because I used to say early on, I was like, hey, look, I am not fit for human interaction today. Right. And they knew exactly what that meant, right? But it was saying something positive. So again, it goes back to mindset is everything.
Yeah. And that does show that you're human. I'm accepting of that, but to never even see that from a person, I don't know. I just think that's odd. Like, I know how to keep it together because I have people that, I work with too, but I'm human. I don't portray being happy all the time. I just, and I'm just sorry. I don't know. I just think that that's odd to me.
I know. And you know what I'm finding more and more is that people, even though, yes, we're trained as far as the helping professionals to be a certain way, but people are really appreciating authentic leadership, authentic interactions, transparency. And like I said, and I can say, hey, I might be having a challenging day, but again, I'm not going to let that, whatever that situation is or that person, have complete power over my day. So again, it goes back to my mindset. I can be angry, but I'm not going to let that take total control of how my day is going to be.
Yeah. And that's hard. That's something that I didn't even learn until like later on, and probably like in my 30s, actually. Just how to be in total control of my emotions because it used to be hard. But now I can actually do that. And be able to not let something that maybe happened at 9 a.m. affect my entire day. And I found that like breathing and also reflecting on something else that is positive,
Yes.
it just helps me get out of that mood. And you know what? Just asking myself, how will I feel about this situation in an hour or tomorrow?
Right.
And so once I do that, and it kind of like kicks it out there, or sometimes it'd be like, oh no, I'm still gonna be mad about this. Then I need some more time. Maybe
Yes.
I sit in my car a little longer until I get through that. But yeah.
Right. But see, the key is, you know, and you recognize what it's going to take for you to get through that situation.
Mm-hmm.
To, you know, you're like you said, I'm still angry. I'm still pissed. I'm still in my feelings. So I might need a little bit more time. But you're recognizing that rather than going into it knowing that this is not the time for me to go and say whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm a firm believer of, you know, you can't take words back. Like,
right.
You just cannot. And again, that was something I had to learn later in life. And I've learned that lesson. So I don't need to go back. And you really do have to think before you speak. So,
yes. And that's why that journaling piece really, you know, it has so many purposes. Because like you're saying, even though those words, I might not be able to say it, but I might have a journal where I can write those words out, write those feelings to help me channel that.
Yeah, yeah. And Lord, if I start writing and somebody find that journal, if something happened to me, they're going to be like, what in the world? Rosie was really on one. Like, but that's good. It's in the journal. I'm not having road rage out here, or you know.
That's right. That's right. Or you might be at the light and a wonderful business idea comes to you, right? Jot that thing down real quick. And then when you get time to go back and look at it, you can recall what you were thinking. Yeah. You know how sometimes you're like, oh, come on, what was that I was thinking? What did I say I was going to do? You've been there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On a daily. And my best stuff comes in the morning. And so I try to work out in the beginning of the day. So I will stop jogging, or if I'm walking at a brisk pace, I will slow down, take my phone out and actually write it down, because, you know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So that thing, like you said, will be gone. And I'll be like, dang, that has happened too many times. So I used to just have my watch, but now when I work out, I bring my phone because I can't go in my notes section in my watch. So I've learned.
Yes. Yes.
Now, about your vocabulary, why is transforming your vocabulary an important part of positive thinking?
There's so much power in words. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. There's so much power in words. And when you think about words that reflect on who you are. So when you're speaking affirmations, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to speak to that person, I'm going to set goals. That is speaking so much positivity over your life. Think about the adverse effect when you speak negative things. I'm never going to get to that gym. I don't care what they say. The holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving, I'm not going to turn that turkey away, right? Just that thinking. So when you speak of like, okay, I know Thanksgiving is coming, but this time I'm going to make sure I'm not going to eat as much, right? So I'm disciplining my thinking about it. I'm not saying I'm not going to be able to do some things, but again, it's that power of those words and helping me to, you know, my attitude and my discipline about certain things.
Yeah. And how do you get out that rut? So I know you said journaling, you could do it, but what about that's not helping? What else can you do to get
Oh,
yourself out of that?
journaling is just one thing. One thing that I have learned, Rosie, is that I have to surround myself with positive people.
Mm.
I used to love this skit on Saturday Night Live, and they had this character called Debbie Downer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everywhere Debbie went, it would be a party going on and they would be celebrating, but here she comes, and she would always find something negative about going on. So again, that power of surrounding yourself with positive people, that connectivity, that drive, that influence that you need. We talked about music. We even things that we eat, impacts our energy level. I tell people one of the most positive things that you can do for your physical body is drink water.
Yes.
Drink water. It's good for you in so many ways for the entire body, and it gives you energy.
Yep, you are right. You are right. That's one thing, look, that I do. I do drink water a lot. So
Yes.
yeah, you are right about that. And then get that exercise in no matter what.
That's right.
And
we got to sleep, Rosie. We got to make sure we get good rest.
That's true. That is true. And it's hard for us entrepreneurs or whatever, you have a to-do list that seems like it's getting longer by the day and the week. And it's just like, what do you do? And I say, frequently and often on here that I used to get mad at myself for wanting to take a nap, because it's just like, I got so much stuff to do. But I have read stories and I have heard of people that have a terrible wake-up call when they're in the hospital. So that kind of like stuck with me, maybe like, I don't know, 2 years after hearing it, it took a little while. It took a little while. Yes. But now I try to, definitely, think like, if you're tired and if you're falling asleep at your desk, go take a nap and come back. It's okay. And, the things will be there tomorrow. Prioritize what has to be done today, and you will feel good about yourself, because it's like, okay, well, I knocked out 3 of the 5 things, and this was most important to move the needle. So,
Right. And that is so key in what you shared. And as well as setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. You always hear people talk about balance, but the other word is just setting boundaries. The power of the word no. You can't be everywhere and do everything. Yeah. So don't feel like you have to. Look at your schedule and fit time in that schedule for you. That me time, that self time. If it's spending an extra 15 minutes in the shower, if it's meaning that I'm going to go for a walk, whatever it takes for you to keep you rooted and grounded and positive, I tell people, do it. Mm-hmm. Make sure it happens. Nike said it best. 3 words, just do it. Period.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that is hard for us women to do, me included, and I'm learning and I'm getting better every single day at it. But, it's just hard. And we take one Thursday out of the month to do like a self-care segment, because you're not going to be no good to nobody if you don't take care of yourself. So
that's right.
And it took me doing that show and hearing people say that over and over for me to take action. So it's a lot. And it's just not about the, exterior either, the massages and all that. It's just like, just sitting down and having 10 minutes to just think, so.
Right. Even things like, I tell people, if your job or you're in a position where at night, when you can turn your telephone off, just the world is going to go on. Turn that phone off, because either we'll hear the alerts, the ting, the ping, the little lights that are flashing. So, chemically, your brain is racing to respond to that. Yeah. But if you don't have to have it on, shut it down. Shut it down. Cut down our time on social media. It's okay. Shut it down. Sometimes I say, I wish we could go back to a simpler lifestyle. And it wasn't like our grandparents and great grandparents didn't have problems or things, but they lived life simpler. And that simpler lifestyle seemed to be more productive. And it was just the quality of life that they enjoyed.
Yeah, and that is so true because I remember being tortured. I live in DC, like I shared, but in the summer we used to get shipped down to the country for like 2 weeks in the summer, and I'm talking about pitch black, no city lights, can't see your hand in front of your face type of thing. You pull up on the house at nighttime, you have to angle the car with the light so you can. I mean that, but now I appreciate that. It's cleaner air. It's just like nothing to do. You have to walk, and the store is not for miles. And I'm like, oh my God, and pigs and all this stuff. And it's just like when you get older, you're like, wow, that was, like you said, in our grandparents and parents' time, because that's how my mother was raised. It was just like, you slow down, and, COVID has helped us get back there. But that's what I remember when you say, it's slowing down and kind of like reflecting and, just taking a moment.
Yes. Yes. I mean, really, we really have to, because even when you're thinking about, I heard you mention your son, if, our children also, we model that behavior. So if they see us constantly, it's like, well, what's going on with the quality of time? What's going on with what we're doing? Is it that important? So like you said, prioritize things, don't overwhelm yourself with your things to do list. Yes. Things to do list are great to have, but don't put 20 items on there, Rosie, knowing you can only do 5 out of the 20 in one day. So don't even, that self-imposing of overwhelming yourself, because then you'll look at the list and put the whole thing, just throw the whole list out.
Yeah. You get
so be realistic. Yes.
Yeah. And I've been there too, where it's just like, oh God, well, shoot, I just might as well go look at a movie because
right, exactly.
Now, some days you may need that to just relax and cool out. But if you find yourself in that space for weeks, then yeah.
Right. Right. That's why I said, just put two things on there. And I tell people, and then put a big check mark, because then that's empowering to know that I did accomplish whatever it was I set out to do. But don't overwhelm that things to do list, because really, like you said, it will be discouraging and your whole energy will react to that.
Yeah. Now, you talked a little bit about your phone when you're at home. So how else can you create a positive environment at home and even at work?
Oh, look, for one thing, look at the color of my blouse.
I
have this bright yellow blouse. I love colors.
Me too.
So colors is one thing that impacts your energy, your vibes, just, how you set your physical environment. The temperature in the room can make a difference for you. If it's, if you like it warm and cozy, turn the heat up a little bit or open up the windows. If you like it cool, whatever. These are things that really impact our physical environment. Sometimes you might have to shut the door to your office to let other people know, this is my closed in time. This is my closed in space. And then when you're ready to let people in, maybe crack the door, open it. But there are a lot of things that you can do to set the environment for positive thinking.
Yeah. Oh my God, this has been a great conversation. I can't believe it's already. But I want to end with these 2 questions. What's next for you, and how can our audience stay connected with you?
Oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you what's next for me. Like I mentioned, I wrote this book called You Got This. And this coming Saturday, September the 11th, we'll be doing a book signing at PJ's Coffee House for those who are in the DMV in Bowie, Maryland. Folks can always find me on my website, and that's www.PamelaBrowne.com. So that's www.PamelaRBrowne, and my Brown has an E on the end, Rosie.com. Or they can hit me up on Instagram at Power Up Life Boss.
My God. Thank you so much, Pamela, for being on the bandwidth. And I wish you nothing but luck on your book signing on Saturday.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Rosie, for all that you do. And thanks to all your listeners and your audience. We have to come together and make this thing happen.
Absolutely. Yes. So there you go, you guys. I want to know, what are you going to implement from this episode? So I want you to tell me in the comments. And after you tell me, I want you to take action on it today. And here are some additional ways that I can assist your Go Live journey. If you are not watching the Shooting the Shits with Rosie on Tuesday, I encourage you to watch that. Here you can have me answer your questions in real time about your Go Live journey. And also, if you're ready to take action, do my program called I'm Doing This, I'm Going Live. It actually starts September the 13th. It's a 6-week online program that will help you overcome mindset challenges, get you comfortable with the tools needed to go live, and you'll learn how to navigate the various social media platforms. And most importantly, after that 6 weeks, you will become courageous enough to hit that go live button. So if you're interested in that, please, the link will be below. Definitely check that out. Also, once you are going live, please take advantage of my course, The Real Secret to Gaining Confidence and Going Live. It's an online course that I created to help women like you show up confidently on camera, and you'll walk away being content, camera, and tech confident. Everything you need to build your brand and conquer video. So again, sign up below. And if you need free resources for going live, pick up my 3 must-have tools. And as I always end, remember, the world is waiting for you to do what only you can. Your voice needs to be heard because it definitely matters to someone. So let's turn on the camera, turn up the confidence, and tell your story. Until next week, bye-bye.